Redapse, Chapter 1. It's morning. Yuma knows as much without opening her eyes. She doesn't want to do that. But a certain cat has other plans. She feels the first light tap on her nose and groans in response. Then comes a slap. Then she's suddenly hit by a sharp claw at her skin. Alright, I'll get up. Are you happy now, cat? She grabs the tiny kitten in her hands, and it eyes her with impatience. The kitten has been there for only a few days, but it certainly had gotten comfortable fast. A rescue among many that Isa and Yume took in their shelter. Yume runs downstairs, calling for her friend. Isa, have you fed this menace of a cat yet? Good morning to you too, Yume. Come have breakfast, and yes, I have fed everyone while you were busy sleeping. Which is why I sleep, Yume shrugs. If you weren't so darn responsible, I'd have to pick up the pace. It's on you, really. Isa rolls her eyes without real annoyance and sets the plate in front of Yume with pancakes and fruit. Yume starts gobbling up at the food, making happy noises as she eats. Her attention completely focused on that task. We got a letter today, Isa says. Yume doesn't pay much attention. It's from Alex. Now that grabs her attention. It's been so long. Give it, Yume says, getting up and making a grabby motion with her hands towards Isa. Isa hands her the already opened letter. It was addressed to both of them, but really it was more for Yume than Isa. Her and Alex were almost siblings, and were best friends on top of that, so it made sense she would get so excited from getting a letter from him. Yume grabs the letter and reads it as fast as she can, still shoving food in her mouth as she did that. Some syrup got in the letter, but she didn't pay it any mind, though it made Isa flinch at the sight of it. Okay, so he needs help with a dragon den. Easy, she says, when she's done with the reading. If it was that easy, he wouldn't be calling you for help. Alex is perfectly capable of dealing with a dragon by himself. Alex has his specialties, and I have mine. I'll be back in less than a week, you see, Yume gloats. I better start packing. He'll be here today, apparently. Just don't forget to do your chores before you leave, please, Isa reminds her. Yume makes a sign with her head as she leaves the plates in the sink for washing and goes back upstairs to pack. Alex arrives right after lunchtime, giving both Yume and Isa a big hug. It's been months since the traveler had stopped in their friend's home to say hi. He pets Yuma's ears as he usually does to annoy her. She pushes him away. How have you been, Yume? It's been so long since I've seen you, he says. Yeah? And whose fault is that? She shoots back. He just shrugs in response. You know how the life of an adventurer is. So many places to go, so many people to see, so many beds to... She punches him in the stomach before he can finish. I don't need to know about that part, thank you very much. So tell me more about this dragon. They sit down at the table. Isa serves them all some tea. Alex starts. Well, this one decided to settle in a cave right next to a village, and it's mourning the loss of its partner. I can't convince it to go somewhere else, and the smoke from its breath is causing problems for the village. The locals want to kill it, and if I don't find a solution soon, they might actually find someone that will do it. You can't let that happen, Isa says. She's right. I'll talk to it. I'm sure I can convince it to come stay with us for a few moons, Yume says. I knew I could count on you, Yums. Let's go. We have no time to waste. Yume grabs her travel bag and says goodbye to all her rescued creatures and to Isa. She never liked leaving her friends on her own to take care of them by herself, but she knew she could handle it for a few days. Alex and Yume had entered the path through the woods. The village wasn't too far from Yume's home, so they didn't want to waste their energy flying. Walking would get them there easy enough. Alex was a fairy. He just didn't let his wings show for most of the time. And Yume was a shapeshifter, half fairy, half licorice. The magic from her mother and the animalistic genes from her father mixed in a way that allowed her to take on the shape of many different animals. But really, what have you been doing? She finally decided to ask him after a series of jokes and random stories about his nights at different taverns. Nah, the usual, really. I'm just going from city to city, village to village, finding odd jobs and having fun, he answers. Alex, I've known you since forever. You're running again. Have you seen him? The last word lingers in the air for a while. Alex seems to get angry, but he breathes and shoves the question off. Pfft, no. Why would I ever see him? No, I definitely did not see him. And I'm not running from anything, dude. He stops talking as his friend stops in her tracks and raises her hands to stop him as well. He notices her left ear twitching. She's heard something. Both of them reach for their weapons at their belts. The noise gets louder. Alex can hear it too now. They stand back to back, giving each other cover, when a group of 5 bandits jump at them. Alex quickly disarms the first one that comes at him with his sword, but gets caught up in the fight with the other. Yuma is jumped by 3 of them at the same time. She has to jump out of the way to get away from there, but ends up leaving the safety of being right behind her friend. She struggles with the masked men, but manages to keep her ground. Alex is back with 2 against 1. He shouts for Yuma, but that only distracts her. 2 of the men grab her arms, and the third throws a bag at her face, which explodes in dust when it hits her, making her cough and fall on the ground. Alex tries to kick away the men fighting with him when he sees his friends start to change shape. A huge bear stands where Yuma once stood, and it looks angry. Alex smiles as he sees fear grow in the man's eyes, and his friend punches them away with her huge paws and sharp claws, leaving giant scratch marks on them that they wouldn't be able to forget so soon. They run away, injured and scared. When they're gone, Alex throws a fist in the air as celebration. Heck yeah! That's Yuma for you pricks! Boy, I love traveling with you. It never gets old when you... He stops himself as he sees her collapse on the floor. He runs towards her to help her to her feet. Yuma, what's wrong? He asks. I don't know. They threw something at me. I'm feeling weak. It's the last thing she manages to say before the world goes dark. When Yuma comes to her senses, she doesn't want to open her eyes. She thinks she's in a bed. An unfamiliar, uncomfortable smell lingers in the air. She can notice a bright, white light before she opens her eyes. And when she does, she finds herself in a completely unfamiliar place. She notices the construction of the place first. The corners of the walls are at perfect 90-degree angles. Everything is white and in shades of blue, and she finds herself in the bed with weird tubes coming out of her arm. At the sight of that, she screams. She tries to take the tubes off, but they seem to be a part of her. The place where she yanked them away starts to bleed. She cries as she notices her hair is not the usual green and blue, but it's blonde. Her panic doesn't settle when 4 people barge into the room, wearing white and blue clothes she's never seen before. They hold her down and check weird boxes next to her that started screaming with her. A woman with red hair and a bun puts a hand on her arm and makes Yuma look at her in the eyes. It's okay. You're okay, she says. Yuma still can't control her breath enough to talk back. Do you know your name? The lady asks. As her breath steadies with the intense look coming from the red-haired woman, she answers, I'm Yuma. Where? You're in the hospital, sweetie. You've been in a coma for 5 months. Hi there! My name is Lore, and I'm the one who wrote the story that you just heard. The characters from the story were the ones that I was drawing in this video, and they're from a story that's been in my head for a few years now. When I was deciding what to do as a voiceover for this video of me drawing them, I decided to just share their story. So let me know if you're interested in more. You can check all my socials in the description, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.